Welcome to the Agatebay YouTube channel and your favorite German agate dealer, Joshua from Agatebay. And today I'm here to talk about multi-chamber agates, which is a relatively rare occurrence for pretty much any deposit worldwide. There's a few certain deposits where it might occur a little bit more often than at others, but it is a huge rarity in any case. So the first one I'm going to show you is a very special piece. It is an agatized coral. And you see a lot of this material coming from Indonesia, for example. But this is a special piece because it is from Bulgaria. And I mean, I see a lot of agates. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who know more about their own agates in their own specific areas. But I personally have never seen a better agatized coral than this specimen right here. And what makes it so special is that every single chamber in this piece that used to be in the coral structure has been replaced with individual agates, and each single chamber in this coral just looks different from the one that's next to each other. And that's what I think makes the multi-chamber pieces so special, to see that one chamber is like entirely different from the one that's right next to each other, and there's only like a few millimeters apart in them, which honestly I have no clue how that might happen and why they're not all the same color and why they keep different kind of structures. Some of them still have some of the original coral structure in their chambers, others have been entirely replaced with agate, some of them have been partially replaced with some of the coral structures still there and some agate in the chamber. Next off is an agate from Morocco. This is from the Buhamza location in the Middle Atlas Mountains, and I feel like most of the occurrences where multi-chamber agates can happen is in sedimentary formed host rock, and this agate is from the only location in the Moroccan locations that have been sedimentary formed. All of the other locations in Morocco are volcanic formed, but I feel like in sedimentary host rock it's more easy for agates to develop close to each other together, but still have all different kinds of patterns here. Like in this one you can also see it has one chamber with white, one with red, one with blue, one with purple. There's just so many different things going on in this one, and I cannot tell you why one chamber is red and the other one's yellow. So yeah, if somebody knows more about this, feel free to leave your comment under the video and share your ideas. Next off is another sedimentary formed agate. This is from Kentucky. I would say in Kentucky agates it's also a relatively rare occurrence to have multi-chambers in a piece, but also these sedimentary formed type agates that are found in Kentucky, they sometimes have split nodules, where two nodules are kind of baked next to each other, and since this is like an organic remain or like a cavity that was left by some kind of organic material, it might be that maybe some kind of prehistoric sponges were just like right next to each other when they have been fossilized, and that's how they left the empty spaces to create these two different chambers, although they're like only separated by a millimeter or sometimes not even that. Yeah, so another really cool piece. Then I feel like in the volcanic pieces, in the volcanic formed agate specimens, it is rather rare, and there's only a few cases where you can actually have multi-chamber pieces, and that is, for example, in this one where it looks like there has been some kind of sedimentary, well, it's not part of the host rock, but sedimentation within the nodule from some kind of carbonate material that was inside of this cavity before it actually has been agatized, and it created this secondary layer just below the bottom chamber here. But that's how these two pieces could have been separated in this specimen. Yeah, this is from Argentina, from Patagonia, and it's the only one from this location that I've ever seen with two different chambers. And I've seen thousands, so this is very, very rare. I feel like a location where it happens a little bit more often in volcanic formed host rock is in Morocco, but a different location. So this is from the High Atlas Mountains. Massive in size, it is a spectacular specimen, and the reason why some of these have multi-chambers is because of pseudomorph separation. And here you can see it pretty well. There was some kind of formerly developed crystal inside the cavity that just created these two entirely different chambers that had probably inflow channels from the left and right side, in this case somewhere probably back here, that induced in this case the orange and the yellow color in two different sections. And that's probably how this piece has been created, with these entirely two different chambers. But in this case it's based on the pseudomorph separation. You might find it as well in Koyamito agates, you might find it in Turkish agates, or you might also refer to a multi-chamber piece if you have a pseudomorph itself that has been agatized, because it creates its own chamber inside of the specimen. But that's what I would probably just call a pseudomorph and not a multi-chamber specimen. But this is a true multi-chamber specimen, I would say, because of the separation. This is one of the super rare old stock pieces from Paraíba state in Brazil. These are known as the Polyhedroid agates. They're famous for this kind of rectangular shape, which is probably caused that they formed in between of barite crystals, like in between the sheets, and there was some kind of silica fluid that filled in between the voids. But sometimes they are so close together and somehow just entirely silicated or like replaced with quartz. That's what silica is. And sometimes they're so close together and they don't fall apart that they create this kind of multi-chamber pattern. And that's also one of, I would say, the most common location to create these multi-chambers, but still is tremendously rare. And also a lot of the specimens, because they're a little bit fragile and sometimes they're not entirely silicated, like if I tried to break them apart, I probably could on this specimen, just because in the areas where the former barite crystals or whatever kind of crystal it was kept them together, is still more fragile than the entire crystal structure in this piece. And a lot of times I had a few rough stones from the Polyhedroid agates that I've been cutting that were showing this kind of multi-chamber pattern, and they fell apart after I cut them, because they only had some areas where they were so close together that, you know, they stayed intact. In some cases I glued them back together, and of course if the customer bought it, I told them that it has been repaired with glue, but I mean it's also the original way they used to be, because I cut it and I can tell, and I just didn't randomly put two pieces together, which some people might do, who knows. But yeah, this is also an original piece where you can see it has the one chamber, then a layer of quartz in between, and another chamber here on that side. So pretty cool piece. I hope you learned something, and maybe you have some better ideas on how it's possible that these this very, very strange occurrence sometimes happens, that, you know, so different agates can be so close together. Leave a comment, and also like and subscribe the video if you enjoyed watching it, and I hope I'll see you back for more videos.